Gamera holds a special place in the hearts of kaiju fans, and all for good reasons. Known as the guardian of the universe and friend to all children, Gamera stands out among other giant monsters for his benevolent nature and heroic deeds. However, Gamera's significance goes beyond his role as a protector. He has his roots in ancient mythology and Japanese folklore. He's based on the black tortoise or turtle, a creature from Japanese mythology who is the guardian of the North, powerful and protective force. Nicknamed the Guardian of the Universe, Gamera embodies the noble qualities of a hero. In this video, we will explore everything about his anatomy, what he eats, how he looks, how powerful are his shell and brain, and of course, if he can reproduce. So let's not delay this wild ride any further and get down to business. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. What does Gamera look like? Of course, Gamera is a rare kaiju because of his personality and how he treats mere mortals like humans. However, what truly makes Gamera stand apart are his distinctive anatomical characteristics. It doesn't take a Batman to figure out that Gamera is a turtle-based kaiju, but he's not your run-of-the-mill giant turtle. He's quite different. Unlike the good old turtles, Gamera walks on two legs, adopting a bipedal locomotion pattern rather than relying solely on all fours. Having said that, in the first 3 films featuring the massive kaiju, Gamera occasionally reverts to a quadrupedal gait. Of course, that's not all. Gamera's upper limbs resemble hands more than feet, which means that he can use them in combat and to grapple enemies, much like Godzilla uses his upper limbs. He also has teeth in his mouth, which is akin to the ancient or prehistoric turtles that roam the earth. Modern turtles do not have teeth. The mouth also has a couple of huge tusks that not only make him look more intimidating, but can be used to deal with some serious punishment. Additionally, he has large humanoid eyes that aid in giving him a sapient appearance, as if he is more intelligent than his monstrous appearance may portray. In the Heisei trilogy, Gamera undergoes more transformations in his anatomy. Among these changes is the presence of retractable bone spikes located within each of Gamera's elbows. How fast can Gamera fly? Gamera possesses a remarkable ability that sets it apart from many other kaiju, the ability to fly. In Gamera the Giant Monster, the original film, ancient pictographs are discovered, depicting Gamera and serving as a warning of its extraordinary aerial capability. The film also hints at Gamera's connection to a species of colossal turtles believed to have inhabited the lost continent of Atlantis. During the Showa era, Gamera's exact origins are shrouded in mystery, as his debut film offers no indications of him being a result of mutation. Instead, Gamera is portrayed as already possessing the ability to fly and emit true flame, distinct from the radioactive energy commonly associated with other kaiju like Godzilla. Naturally, Gamera's ability to fly has become one of his most renowned traits. He typically retracts his arms, legs, head, and tail into his shell, and then proceeds to expel flames from his arm and leg cavities while spinning rapidly, resembling a spinning frisbee. This unique flying method proves advantageous in subsequent films, as the sharp edges of Gamera's shell are used to inflict cutting attacks on adversaries, as if he was a circular saw. Additionally, Gamera demonstrates an alternative method of flight, where he retracts only his legs or tail or both into his shell, and expels flames from the leg cavity, enabling him to soar through the air like a jet plane. In the Heisei-era films, Gamera's arms undergo a remarkable transformation, extending and stretching out into wings reminiscent of a sea turtle's flippers. This adaptation enhances Gamera's aerodynamics and control during flight. With a maximum flight speed of Mach 3, Gamera can fly in Earth's atmosphere as well as the vacuum of outer space. How strong is Gamera's shell? Gamera is a turtle-themed kaiju, and it is only natural that he possesses a remarkably durable shell that provides some badass protection against various forms of attacks, be it human or kaiju. The upper shell, known as the carapace, exhibits exceptional resilience and strength, rendering it impervious to most weapons and assaults launched by both adversaries and projectiles. The film series depicts numerous instances where Gamera's adversaries' attacks, including missiles and weaponry, prove futile as they simply bounce off his shell. While Gamera's carapace is largely impervious to harm, there have been rare occasions where the shell's integrity has been compromised. Notably, during a confrontation with Giron, the relentless pounding on one specific spot managed to breach Gamera's shell, leading to visible damage. Damn, that must have hurt like hell. However, such occurrences are exceptions rather than the norm. The effectiveness of Gamera's shell is further brought to light when he faces foes of his own kind like Gauss, Zigra, and Baragon. Gamera adeptly uses his shell's defensive capabilities by retracting into it to evade and withstand attacks such as the supersonic scalpel of Gauss, the rainbow death ray of Baragon, and the paralyzing beam of Zigra, which fail to penetrate even the shell's surface. However, he cannot be without any weaknesses. So, apart from the vulnerability to extreme cold, Gamera's lower shell, known as the plastron, exhibits comparatively less resilience and durability, unlike the carapace. The plastron is softer and more vulnerable to damage. In certain instances, Gamera has sustained cuts and gouges in his stomach, causing him to bleed. The Showa-era films portray Gamera's blood as blue, while the Heisei-era films depict it as green. His plastron's vulnerability was well depicted when Virus impaled Gamera's stomach with the tip of its head and when Iris pierced Gamera's entire body by stabbing him through the stomach. In the original film, Gamera's cellular tissue was said to possess such density that conventional weapons proved ineffective against him. However, in the Heisei series, tanks managed to inflict some level of injury on Gamera, and he was more susceptible to being knocked out of the sky by missile attacks. But you know, he can easily shake these puny attacks off. Gamera's brain is quite powerful. Gamera's cerebral attributes are so potent that he can actually develop telepathic bonds with humans. Now, how many other kaiju can pull that stuff off? Well, not many. Firstly, this guy spins a lot, and we all know what happens when we spin a lot. Within the inner ear of humans, there are 3 semicircular canals filled with fluid in line with hair cells. These canals are positioned at different angles and are responsible for detecting rotational movements. When we spin, the fluid within the canals also moves, stimulating the hair cell. During prolonged or intense spinning, the fluid in the semicircular canals continues to move even after we stop spinning. This creates a disconnect between the information received by our visual system. Our eyes say that we have stopped spinning, but the vestibular system tells another story to the brain. The brain, being the brain, tries to reconcile these conflicting signals, which can create an illusion of movement in the opposite direction. However, Gamera's physiology is different and unique. It is designed to accommodate his distinct abilities and modes of locomotion. His semicircular canal, a component of the inner ear responsible for maintaining balance, has developed to withstand the rapid rotation he undergoes during flight. Even in his disc flight form, where he spins rapidly like a frisbee, Gamera's eyes and brain remain unaffected by the extreme centrifugal forces. This exceptional adaptation allows Gamera to maintain stability and visual acuity while executing intricate aerial maneuvers. But that's just the physical part of his brain. He displays a high level of intelligence. Throughout his appearances, Gamera has exhibited problem-solving capabilities and tactical know-how. In fact, he can independently repair an alien spacecraft, making him somewhat of an engineer. Furthermore, Gamera has a keen sense of strategic thinking, actively seeking to exploit the weaknesses of the dumber kaiju he faces. This intelligence contributes to Gamera's effectiveness as a protector of humanity. Gamera's origins have been documented by the ancient civilizations that once inhabited the Earth, so it is not hard to imagine that he has been around humans a lot. He is designed to communicate with humans using the orichalcum jewels left behind by these ancient humans. These jewels serve as conduits for telepathic communication, allowing Gamera to establish a connection with select individuals. In the film Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, he forms a telepathic bond with Asagi Kusanagi, a teenage girl, through the medium of one of the orichalcum beads. Asagi claims to be able to read Gamera's thoughts, providing insight into his motivation and action. Asagi insists that Gamera fights to safeguard the world, and doesn't mean to bring chaos like other kaiju and alien monsters.
Awesome.
What does Gamera thrive on? Gamera's dietary habits have been a subject to change throughout the various iterations of the kaiju. In the first US film on Gamera, titled Gamera the Invincible, it was suggested that he might not be a traditional carbon-based life form, but rather a silicon or metallic-based entity. According to this theory, Gamera is believed to be the sole survivor of a prehistoric era when creatures thrived without requiring oxygen for sustenance. Instead, it is postulated that Gamera subsists on specific chemical compounds found in natural gas and petroleum, thereby explaining his ability to consume and harness fire. Additionally, this unconventional composition might account for his extraordinary capacity to survive in vacuum environments, like outer space. During the Showa series of Gamera films, his feeding patterns were depicted differently. In this iteration, Gamera was depicted as nourishing himself on flames and other sources of heat, light, and electrical energy. It was implied that he was rejuvenated by accidental atomic explosions, that occurred during conflicts between American and Soviet fighter jets in the Arctic. Similar to his fellow kaiju counterpart, Godzilla, Gamera was said to derive sustenance from radioactive materials like plutonium. In fact, because of his feeding habit, he has a thermal heart, which performs most functions of any usual heart, but is a gazillion times more powerful. Additionally, his muscles too are super strong and durable, and can withstand practically any amount of heat that's not as extreme as the surface of the sun. How does his fire breath work? Gamera is a child of fire, and hence, he possesses a remarkable ability to emit and manipulate fire, especially through his mouth, which we know is colloquially called fire breath. And once again, the specifics of this ability differ across different iterations of Gamera. This friendly kaiju in the Showa series sustains himself by consuming fire and other sources of heat. As a result, he becomes attracted to heat-emitting objects like power plants and the rainbow death ray of Baragon, a monster who appears every 1,000 years. When the need arises, Gamera can exhale intense streams of extremely hot flames from his mouth. The source of this fire-breathing ability stems from his consumption of fire as an energy and food source. The Heisei version of Gamera exhibits a different manifestation of fire breath. This Gamera has the capability to project explosive plasma fireballs from his mouth, typically with rapid speed and varying accuracy. In the film Gamera, the Guardian of the Universe, Gamera fires a super-powered plasma fireball after absorbing fire. Additionally, in Gamera 2, Attack of Legion, Gamera inhales the oxygen generated by a Legion plant, enabling him to unleash a plasma fireball powered by oxygen. The Heisei version also possesses the ability to absorb and manipulate mana. This allows Gamera to release an immensely powerful stream of pure plasma and fire from an organic cannon located within his open chest. Could Gamera's chest cannon kill Godzilla? Gamera's chest cannon, known as the Mana Beam, is an immensely powerful weapon that draws upon the global mana reserves as its energy source. Now, mana is the life essence and energy of the Earth. Its devastating impact was demonstrated when it successfully eliminated the symbiotic Legion and triggered a subsequent global Gauss outbreak. However, when considering its potential to harm Godzilla, the outcome varies depending on the particular Godzilla iteration in question. In the case of its Showa-era Godzilla, it is plausible that the Mana Beam may not pose a significant threat. Showa-era Godzilla exhibited remarkable resilience, enduring severe injuries from battles with adversaries like Mechagodzilla and Titanosaurus, and even surviving in the harsh conditions of outer space. While the exact power of the Mana Beam remains undetermined, it is uncertain whether it could surpass the durability of Showa-era Godzilla. Likewise, the Heisei-era Godzilla would likely withstand the Mana Beam without major repercussion. This iteration of Godzilla displayed extraordinary endurance, withstanding uber-powerful attacks such as Destroya's micro-oxygen ray, which disassembles opponents at the molecular level. Similarly, the Millennium-era Godzillas possessed exceptional regeneration ability, making him highly resilient against potential harm. The Kiryu saga depicted Godzilla enduring the absolute zero cannon unleashed by Mechagodzilla, which is estimated to possess a destructive force equivalent to billions of tons of TNT. Trust me, we cannot even begin to comprehend the scale of such an explosion. This suggests that Gamera's Mana Beam would be unlikely to cause substantial harm to this particular Godzilla. Shin Godzilla, while potentially vulnerable to the Mana Beam if caught off guard, could conceivably develop resistance to it over time. Although Shin Godzilla exhibited vulnerability to conventional explosives such as the GBU-43 or the massive ordnance air bomb and train bomb, so this guy may succumb if Gamera attacked him. In summary, most incarnations of Godzilla would likely endure the Mana Beam to varying degrees. While some versions might be severely wounded by the beam, others could potentially withstand it with less impact. Does Gamera have energy absorption ability? Gamera's reproductive capabilities have not been depicted or mentioned in the official films or related media. As with many other kaiju characters, such as Godzilla, Gamera is typically portrayed as a singular entity without a known ability to reproduce sexually. While it is possible that future material could introduce reproductive elements for Gamera, as of now, there is no canonical evidence to support the notion of Gamera reproducing. It is important to note that kaiju often possess abilities and characteristics that do not adhere to conventional biological or ecological principles due to the fantastical nature of the genre. In terms of Gamera's gender, it is commonly understood that Gamera is a gender-neutral being. However, the use of masculine pronouns has been prevalent in referring to Gamera, following the conventions established by other kaiju like Godzilla and King Ghidorah. This is often done for simplicity and convenience, as gender-neutral pronouns can mean that Godzilla is more of an animal and lacks personality. It is quite possible that Gamera was born pregnant and would lay eggs or deliver a baby right before death, or that Gamera Jr. would feed the corpse of Gamera after his death. How well can Gamera heal or regenerate lost limbs? Gamera exhibits remarkable regenerative abilities, enabling him to heal rapidly from severe injuries and even recover from lost limbs and apparent death on multiple occasions. Furthermore, Gamera's physiology allows him to endure extreme environments, such as outer space and underwater, as he does not rely on respiration due to the absence of lung. If everything fails, his extraordinary sensory perception enables him to detect and locate sources of fire and other sources of heat. In Gamera 3, Revenge of Iris, Gamera intentionally blasts off his own arm and subsequently absorbs plasma fireballs discharged by Iris. Gamera then employs his plasma arm stump to regenerate his lost limb temporarily, so basically, he can manipulate fire and plasma to regenerate parts of himself. What are Gamera's weaknesses? Gamera, despite his formidable ability, possesses several weaknesses. Our significant vulnerability is his susceptibility to cold temperatures. In the early film, Gamera's encounters with the monster Baragon and the deployment of special cadmium freezing bombs by scientists showed that could freeze and become immobile. However, it is important to note that this weakness has not been explored in more recent portrayals of the character, which means that the filmmakers are trying to do away with this weakness. Another weakness lies within Gamera's internal organ, which can be vulnerable to parasitic actions. In one instance, Gamera experienced temporary incapacitation and displayed a pallid complexion when a baby Jaeger parasite grew within his body. Lastly, as is the case with all turtles and tortoises, Gamera Shell is known for its exceptional durability, but his underbelly presents a comparatively weaker and softer point. The softness and reduced resilience of his stomach has been exploited by his various enemies, leading to instances where Gamera has sustained severe injury. Impalement of his stomach by the head of Virus and a direct stabbing through the stomach by Iris resulted in significant bleeding, but we have already spoken about it earlier. Marvelous verdict. With his iconic turtle-like features, including a large shell and powerful limbs, Gamera doesn't just look like the monster version of Ninja Turtles, but he also has so many abilities and powers that make him one of the cooler kaiju. Furthermore, he's a good guy, and who doesn't love themselves a kaiju friend? His abilities to fly at supersonic speeds, launch fireballs and breathe fire, and spin like a saw while airborne make him an impressive and formidable creature. Gamera's versatility in combat, coupled with his immense strength and resilience, make him one of my personal favorites. But your opinions may differ, of course. Since we are on the subject, you should check out our videos containing the ultimate lists of all kaijus and Jaegers ever from the Pacific Rim franchise. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks, everyone.